Hello, I'm Steve Fennimore with the University of California, and I'm going to be talking to you about automated weed removal in vegetable crops. Some things you need to know. Broccoli, lettuce, and spinach, as example vegetables, are planted continuously all year in California. From the spring through the fall, they are grown on the coast, and in the wintertime, they're grown primarily in the low deserts. The herbicides that are used in these crops do not control all the weeds, and the vegetable herbicides that we have, some of which are very old, there is little prospect that they're going to be replaced anytime soon by new products that are more efficacious. Hand weeding and cultivation are used in all of these crops due to the weak herbicides. In other words, to control all the weeds, it depends on many inputs. Cultivation and hand weeding are necessary. The trouble with hand weeding is that it depends on labor, and labor is in short supply, and labor costs are increasing because of the shortage. So intelligent cultivators are being looked at as a way to try to contain or possibly reduce cost of hand weeding. Weed control in lettuce in California is about $1,084 per hectare. The largest component in the chart you see here is hand weeding. Cultivation is a rather minor part of the cost, about less than 10%, shown in red here to give you perspective, and then a little less than 23% of the cost is due to the herbicide pronomide, which is a product that was registered in 1972. Still an important product. So hand weeding crews, while they're expensive, you still see them in the Salinas Valley because they haven't been completely replaced. We haven't got the technology yet in place to replace them. But we have to move in that direction, and that's why I think that this is going to be a much more common sight, is that we will have crews of automated weeders in the field. So a little bit of background that you need to know. The standard cultivation is on the left and the automated cultivation is on the right. In the standard cultivation, the cultivator only removes weeds between the rows. In other words, the inter-row space. In the photo on the right is what the auto weeders can do, and they are capable of weeding in all directions around the crop. And so they are able to do pretty much the same thing a hand weeding crew can do. These are a couple of machines I want to talk to you about today very quickly. The STOUT on the left and the Titan from FARMWISE on the right. These are designed to be labor efficient. They utilize neural networks and deep learning to recognize the crops and the weeds. So I'll talk to you about some evaluations of STOUT and Titan in commercial fields, as well as the field station, a very weedy set of trials on the field station. These are replicated 4 times in a randomized complete block. We measured weed control or weed density and hand weeding times. So here's the Titan from FARMWISE. The machine is quite capable. The Titan is on the top row of data. It was able to remove about 91% of the weeds in the plant line compared to the standard cultivator, which was only able to remove about 2/3 of the weeds because it cannot reach in the plant line. The hand weeding time in hours per hectare was 26 hours, a little over 26 hours in the Titan compared to almost 58 hours per hectare with the standard cultivator. So it's a huge drop in the amount of hand weeding time. Here's the STOUT, which is mounted on a tractor, and you can hear the diesel engine in the background. So here's some data from a farm. The STOUT in the first trial was able to remove about 98% compared to the standard cultivator, which was not able to remove more than a very few of the weeds in the seed line. The hand weeding time with the STOUT machine was about 11 hours per hectare compared to 28 for the standard cultivator. In the second trial, the data was almost identical. So quite an effective machine. In a field station, we took the STOUT into a extremely weedy situation. There's a picture of it on the bottom below the data. The STOUT, despite this extremely difficult weed situation, was able to remove 76% of the weeds compared to none for the standard. The hours per hectare with the STOUT were about 75. It was an extremely weedy situation, but the standard cultivator required over 190 hours per hectare, so an extremely large amount of time and very tedious. So the summary is the STOUT and Titan are both very capable intra-row weeders. To solve our vegetable weed problems, specifically our labor issue, we're going to need a new paradigm. The herbicides are not going to solve our problems, nor will the agricultural chemical industry. We're going to have to come up with the technology to remove the weeds robotically. They offer a much more promising path forward for improvements in our weed control program than herbicides. Thank you.